Forshaga, Sweden. A genetic wasteland, a place where the sky meets the abandoned factory skyline. This is where the locals go to the pub in Crocs and sweatpants, where no one uses the turn signal because everyone knows where everyone is going. If you don't engage in land hockey or lift weights, you are labeled a hopeless retard by a society that looks like they were raised on whipped cream and false expectations. This is the perfect breeding ground for extreme music. 20 years ago, 3 local metalheads met in a cloud of cigarette smoke and alcohol fumes, and they picked up the worst fucking band name ever. And they decided to play hard, fast, dirty. And the band was called... Hello. We're the 3 fat fucks you know as Turbocharged.
Yeah. Freddy here. And Nick.
And someone else. We recorded we actually rehearsed a whole shitload of songs to play at Metal Magic this year, but as we all know, COVID-19 fucked it up. Since it's our 20th year as a band, we decided to do the most of it. So we recorded all the tracks and we shot videos for them under 2 months, 17 videos. We basically turned ourselves inside out for this. And this is the full-length feature called 7,300 Days in Sodom, which is our contribution for the 20th anniversary of the band.
Should we start with the first song?
Yeah, sure.
For me personally, Outbreak of Evil. We went on a field trip in '92, and I was in 6th grade. Me and my friend were looking for the House of Kicks store. We finally found it. I got the Creator Pleasure to Kill album. My friend got Sodom in the Sign of Evil. We came home, made tape, and the rest is history.
First song I ever played live on the 31st of March 1990 in front of a live audience. So it's quite the obvious choice. And he didn't know the band.
Which band?
Outbreak of Evil.
less venues to play, less organizers, less everything.
Of course, it could work against us, but our connections are global.
We don't play very much inside of Sweden anyway.
We have not that far to any of the big cities.
We played mostly our most gigs on tours in Europe and stuff like that.
As long as we have those few people believing in us, booking us, wanting to hang out with us, it doesn't matter much.
I started listening to this kind of music, and I want to form a band from a very early age.
Metal as a musical style cannot be separated from metal as a lifestyle.
I don't think I ever did, but I started playing in a band, another band, and ended up in Turbocharged. I don't really know what else I would do if I didn't play in a band.
Either you have a fanzine, podcast, a band, draw logos or whatever. It's not a spectator's choice of life. It's an active choice of life. Loyalty to your music.
We don't hate each other so much.
Probably that we're only a three-piece band. On three people, you don't get that much whining and wheels pulling in different directions. Now we only pull in three different directions, so it's quite okay.
It's all about respect for the other guys.
I don't know. Commitment, I guess.
We will never be a political band, but if you want to play punk covers, some of it's gonna sneak in. Exploited is a good punk band with double bass drums, which is good.
First band I ever played in 7th grade, some older guys asked me to play guitar. I said yes after playing guitar for like 2 months. I went to the basement, and the first song we were supposed to play was Troops of Tomorrow with Exploited. Feels really good to pay a tribute to a band who started it all.
It's classic punk from Britain, so here you have it. Fuck the USA.
Well, the hardest part about forming a band in a small town like this is to find the right people.
I was at my day job, and Ronnie called me and asked me if I had enough bands. I remember I said, I don't play every day, so I guess I can fit another band.
My first concert with the band was like 17, 18 years ago. When I got the question, do you play drums? Can you play a gig with us? I play drums, but I haven't played for 5 years.
We were somewhat forced together.
I got the question to play at the birthday party. I played that gig.
It was one of when the lineup wasn't just as good as it is now. Even more wheels struggling in different directions.
Can you stick around and record a demo so we can chase another drummer? Okay, I'll do that.
We found a mutual path that we customized to fit everyone's needs in the band.
Yeah, I tried to forget about it, but yeah, I remember.
You only get what you find, and what you find you keep.
That's like 17, 18 years ago, and I guess they haven't found another drummer yet.
We're lucky to be 3 kind of similar persons, different as well, but similar enough to stick around. Last year when we played in Berlin,
At Blackland,
Martin from Metal Magic approached us and he said, I want you guys to play next year. You've played so many times, so could we do something different this time? Could we make it a surprise gig with a made-up name?
we thought it was a good idea.
Just playing covers?
We were supposed to play at Metal Magic in Denmark.
No one knows until we're on stage that, oh, it's those idiots.
We had already rehearsed for like 8 months.
Just rehearsing someone else's songs.
Most other stuff were like put aside for a while. When we were more or less finished with rehearsing the stuff.
Then COVID-19 happened.
What to do now? Let's record it.
We didn't want all the time to be wasted, so
Let's make videos. 17 videos.
We just did it.
It was kind of difficult to do many videos.
You should ask Ronnie that who did the cutting.
Obviously, we managed. Short answer, Venom, Motorhead, Sodom.
My older brother had a lot of tapes with like Wasp and Iron Maiden and Twisted Sister and stuff like this, and I stole those tapes from him.
in 4th grade we had like homework to do with a friend, and it was like we were going to make a mixtape with a couple of songs we've listened to during the summer.
I listened to, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Accept, and stuff like that, and all of a sudden I found this darker side.
At the time I listened mostly to like what you do when you're a kid, like your parents' music and stuff. I went home to my friend and his older brother. I just found out by like lots of glam, rock and metal stuff. I came there and he played Fast as a Shark.
The thrash, black metal, and then the death metal wave came, and by then I was already up and running.
Accept was the first really metal song beside like before that was lots of Europe and Twisted Sister and stuff.
I think I wanted to do that from that age and forward.
We did our best to sound our worst, and that's what I still do.
Next song is pretty obvious. We're a fucking Swedish metal band, so how can you not play a Bathory cover? We all grew up on Bathory. pre-Viking era, I might add.
I really think we did our version of it with a D beat and so on.
Just like Ronnie said, I came into Bathory in the Viking era and backtracked back to the good part. And just the Return of Darkness and Evil is one song I would wanted to play like forever. So it's really nice to have it done now.
And here it comes.
The role, it's just necessarily evil.
I'm not really a bass player of sorts. I don't play a frequency. I'm a really shitty rhythm guitarist with only 4 strings.
Someone need to like bring the drinks to rehearsal.
To make him happy that he can be in the band.
No one told me to play the frequency. Well, maybe they did, but I didn't listen.
He got some stuff, also some gear.
Buy all the camera gear, and do the video mixing and stuff.
So I cranked up the distortion and I play hard and fast.
The rest of us have important stuff to do, so the bass player has to do something too.
Right now we're just waiting for him to die so we can be signed by Metal Blade.
In best case, he dies and you get a really good record deal.
I prefer wireless, even on a small stage, because the cables always get entangled around my feet and everything. I don't feel like I'm doing a yoga set on stage.
Time for me to talk about my gear, which I don't know much about. I have a fucking amplifier, and I have a fucking speaker. I have another speaker. This is Behringer Ultra Bass BX 4500H 450 watt bass amplifier with dynamizer technology. I know nothing about it. I bought it as a spare. It kind of stayed with me. Cheap ass stuff. The speaker is the SWR Goliath 3. I used to have the amp head to go with it, but it burned 3 times. I got rid of it. The speaker down below is a Harley Benton I see now. I had no idea. My bass is an EBS LTD, I hope, or else I look like a dumbass now. It's the best bass I ever had. Yes.
ESP.
Yeah, ESP LTD. Told you. And I replaced all the chrome hardware. So it's black now. Gives it a darker tone. And my pedal board, the blower box, bass equalizer, the ordinary Boss. I bought it years and years ago, and finally I started using it. Then I have the suckest fucking tuner. It can't even recognize my thickest string, so I have to do that by ear. I'm a bass player, I don't know. And I have a Line 6 relay G30, I think. I forgot my glasses. I make a lot of noise, no control, just how we like it. Thank you.
Not the first record, but I remember the first songs, and most of them were from the Ace of Spades album.
I think it was Long Live Rock and Roll by Rainbow or The Last Command by Wasp.
I got a mixtape from a friend, his older brother too, was into metal and stuff. So we made me a mixtape with like Fast as a Shark, with some Wasp, Quiet Riot, Mötley Crüe stuff.
3rd grade or something. My older brother used to be into this stuff.
Sitting at my father's living room and at the stereo and flipping those records.
I remember listening to bands like Helix, Motorhead, Twisted Sister, all the bands that came out with videos, because we had a TV show at the time that showed all sorts of stuff, all the 80s stuff.
Back and forward for hours and hours.
But he was too lazy to make like an entire mixtape, so he left the B-side on the tape as it was.
I showed some crap, like Take On Me, Never Gonna Give You Up, stuff like that. But then all of a sudden they came to the metal section, and that's where I found the way to go.
And it was the first Angel Witch album. It was like, entire album was just great, and was really the first albums I really listened to from the beginning to the end.
I do write some stuff on guitar, but I suck at it. So usually I write it on the bass. I guess 80% is written on the bass guitar. I'm a simple person. Personality and instrument. Well, yeah, maybe, because the way I play bass is spontaneous. It's a split-second decision, and it's not very fine-tuned. It's violence. I'm not a violent person, but I do enjoy seeing violence. So why not play it?
Third track is a mashup between 2 tracks, actually. One is a classic punk band, if you've heard of the Misfits. And the second is Eat My Fuck, which is probably the bastard baby of Autopsy and Gigi Allen, I guess.
Misfits is also one of the first bands, first songs I wanted to play. The first band I played in. Really started to listen to a lot of punk at the time, and Misfits was sure one of the favorites. Both, and it have been like a bit different between all the albums too.
We don't have any magical recipe for how we write songs, really.
Some albums were almost written at home.
There's no golden ratio on this one.
Someone come with a riff or an idea and we make a song.
We always make sure to finish the songs together.
The lyrics are always Ronnie.
We're band members, we're not solo artists. I try to keep in mind what the other guys want and what I want, and I try to find a way to get all those things tied together.
If the guitar is loud enough.
It's not like having a spoon, throwing first the vegetables, then the potatoes, and then the sauce. You know, it's you throw the whole plate right in the listener's face, and it's supposed to be fucking painful.
The drums, of course. It's the most important stuff.
Not too clean. It should be dirty, but at the same time, it shouldn't sound potato. We're not a black metal band.
According to me.
And fast enough. And dirty enough.
It's always a golden middle for everything. That's what I listen for.
To finish stuff.
Look forward, don't look back.
A younger version had a lot of great ideas about everything, but a lot of stuff just stopped at being ideas.
Stay in school and go to church.
Be doubtful about people and situations, but don't be bitter and miss the good opportunities, I guess.
I wish an older version of me could tell it now, because I'm still the same.
Just go for it. Stick to the plan.
Next is Supposed to Rot by Nihilist and Entombed, which is just a Swedish death metal classic.
Left Hand Path was like the second or third album I ever got. It was the beginning of everything, so also killer tune to play.
First time I heard it was the Entombed version, and I backtracked to Nihilist, of course. And it's a really good song. It's short, got a lot of punch to it, so we thought, what the hell? Supposed to Rot.
To make music and form a band, definitely. Like in 5th grade, we had a band. No one had any instruments, and we didn't know how to play them. But we had a lot of plans about having a band and everything. So just the guitar playing isn't the satisfaction. The satisfaction is to play good music. A red Strat copy, a Court. And it's I had it for like 4 or 5 years before I had another one. So really shitty guitar, but I still own it. Both. I was studying music for 4 years. At the time, I was in an age where drinking was really fun, and partying and practicing wasn't that fun. So I don't think those years really count. Time for a little rig rundown. We start with the heart of the gear. It's the guitar, of course. The Knight, Korea made. Got it like 10 years ago, and everything I've recorded with Turbocharged have been with this guitar. I've tried a lot of different, more pricey guitars, better guitars, or worse, but always come back to this one because it sounds the best. It's best balance. It's best guitar I have. And I have a Line 6 remote wireless stuff, receiver and polytune tuner, nothing much more than that. I used to have like a huge pedal board with the 8 Gem 2 and the overdrive and the EQ and stuff, but now I only have this. And I have the preamp, Boss GX700, the same as Bolt Thrower. And I have a cheap ass power amp and a cheap-ass 412 cabinet, which both should be changed soon, but it's the one as I have. It's about everything. Thanks.
You got to do Motörhead when you play a cover set. So we have done Motörhead covers in before. We played Killed by Death.
Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades, yeah. For me personally, this Overnight Sensation is one of my favorite albums by Motörhead, and this track is kick-ass.
It's one of the less played covers of Motörhead that I always wanted to play since I first heard it.
I never really liked Motörhead. I never really listened much to the later Motörhead stuff. I'm really happy we're playing a not so obvious cover, so it's a great song and it's fun to play.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you see the accident? The road is red with blood. Funny how it makes you feel really, really good. It was them, it wasn't me. It was them, it wasn't me. Act like I knew it would. I can't help it every time anybody dies. I can't help it if it brings a sparkle to my eyes. It was them, it wasn't me. It was them, it wasn't me. Face it both in surprise. Them, not me. Them, not me. I can still be free. Them, not me. Them, not me. Over and over and over. Streets are like the slaughterhouse. Turn right on the red. Here come pedestrians, kind of living dead. It was them, it wasn't me. It was them, it wasn't me. Guess it should have stood in bed. Them, not me. Them, not me. I can still be free. Them, not me. Them, not me. Over and over and over and over. Alive, not dead. 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 When I see those flashing lights and hear those sirens moan, see the smile on my face and grab my mobile phone. It was them, it wasn't me. It was them, it wasn't me. Murdering is what I told. Them, not me. Them, not me. I can still be free. Them, not me. Them, not me. Over and over and over. Them, not me. Them, not me. I can still be free. Them, not me. Them, not me. Over and over and over. Them, not me.
From early on it was the likes of Nick McBrain and Casey Powell and of course Animal Taylor, and later on Dave Lombardo. I can't deny it, but Lars Ulrich when he was good. That's might be some of my influences. I started playing drums when I was 12 in 92. I played drums till about 97 when I started sing more in bands. Then when I got the question for this, I picked it up again. Practice? Nah. I haven't tried in years, so I would say stage monitors. I really like it when it's loud on stage. So when me and my friends should start our first band, my friend wanted to be Nicky Six more than I wanted to be Cliff Burton. I already had a bass and an amp at this time, but we can't have a band with 2 bass players and 1 guitarist, so I draw the shortest straw there and had to buy a drum kit. That's why I'm a drummer.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
This is my drum kit, Tama drums, Superstar Hyperdrive, 2 bass drums, 22 by 20, 12-inch, 13-inch, 16 and 18. Also got a 10 somewhere. My cymbals are piced, mostly Roods, Crashes, Nova China, hi-hat. Sorry, 2002 here. The drum heads I'm using, always Evans. Changed them, so I tried something new with the UV2s. Snare drum, metal snare, Soundworks, water sticks, water, waiter? Yeah, and a Gibraltar rack. I recorded everything from Militant with this kit, not the cymbals, but the drums. A mic here, AKG for my so-called vocals. It's just Tama hardware as well, except for the rack. That's my kit. Thank you.
I already said I came from a lot of punk, and a lot of D-beat came a bit later on than like 7th grade. So, but this hammer, when I found them, it was like sounding like killer stuff. So, and this song is really amazing. So it's fucking great to play it.
And there was this guy at in the parking lot at Metal Magic at some point that compared us to this hammer. So why not? Maybe we could do it well.
I think we did.
Yes.
Well, as we said, it's different from time to time, but we try to involve all 3 of us in everything we do.
For me personally, I get an idea in my head, then I try to write something on the guitar, maybe.
I do the lyrics though.
The riffs come when I just sitting down playing for myself.
I have the weirdest brain.
From there, it's growing.
My imagination or ideas never run out.
But usually everything starts with a riff and some drums in my head.
I'm the only one who doesn't have a life in the band, so I do all the lyrics.
It's very hard to describe how you get your ideas.
If a song demands 5 minutes, we give it 5 minutes. If it demands 3 weeks, maybe we finish it. or we just jump to the next 5-minute track.
I don't see fans in that process.
We do care what people think to some extent, but we never let it control the way we do things.
We got just a lot of friends all around Europe and the world that wants to listen to us.
First of all, I don't think we really have fans.
If someone likes us, good. Someone dislikes us, fuck off.
To have some appreciation, it's like incredible.
We do what we want to do, and we seem to attract the same kind of people.
It's really motivating, but it's for ourselves. We do what we like.
The only difference between us and the people in front of the stage is that we happen to be on stage in that moment.
If we don't, I think it would show too.
Then we step off stage and we watch the other bands.
I don't think we have any fans.
Then we're the guys that were standing in front of the stage when we played. It's a stereotypical thing to say, but it's still a family. And if you don't get it, you're not part of it.
Here's the heart of Roadhouse Recordings studio. We have a computer-based recording. We really only use the computer as a tape machine, basically. The mixer is a Behringer Eurodesk MX8000. Maybe a bit noisy and cranky at times, but it's better than the computer because that sure as hell messes up the recordings sometimes. Then we get to practice the songs better. In the computer there are 3 M Audio 1010 LT. The computer is really old. I wouldn't trust it to drive a fart, but it serves the purpose. We recorded everything here. We're still recording here because we're broke. Around 96, when I was on tour with this other band, a Finnish band called Impaled Nazarene, and they just recorded or released a track that was, I think, only on a compilation CD from Osmose. It was one hell of a track. And now, like 24 years later, we got the chance to record a cover of it, to play a cover of it.
Yeah, we mashed it together with not the obvious mashup, but Burn in Hell by Twisted Sister. I think we played the intro in Ugger sometime.
Yeah.
At the gig.
The Impaled Nazarene song, since it was released on the compilation Ronnie was talking about, I think it have been on more or less every mixtape I've ever made. Twisted Sister, I've always been there, and I still listen to it today, so it's fucking killer.
And trivia, Stay Hungry was the first vinyl I ever bought. So here we are.
Die!
the beginning it was like to having rehearsals every week, because Turbocharged always was a band who was rehearsing a lot.
Simplicity.
Like 2 times a week, always.
We play simple stuff.
Maybe sometimes 3 times a week when stuff is coming.
And even if we do something that demands our attention as musicians, it still comes off as simple.
Now, after a few albums and a couple of tours and stuff, the really big thing is touring.
No one in the band is a rock star.
Playing live and meeting cool people and seeing a lot of stuff.
We're always grateful to be where we are.
No comments.
We're down to earth, all of us. I can work with that. Simple answer. Kronos, Lemmy, Tommy and the Ripper. Add distortion, and there you have it. That's the reason. I'm not a guitarist. I don't like playing more than one string. I don't like being afraid to break the strings if I hit them hard. I play the bass. I'm not sure I have a unique style like that, but I do know that no one will ever do the same thing that I do without you noticing that it's not me.
Next song is probably one of my favorite Swedish punk bands called Strebers, and we talked like forever about doing a cover of this. 12-13 years we talked about it, but it fits perfectly.
Back to the punk, so Strebers is just a great one to play.
I want more.
our friends can expect, more of the same.
More turbo, more charged.
I think more of everything.
We tend not to think too much when we write.
A violation of your senses.
More punk, more metal,
More blasphemy.
more filth,
Blast beats, D-beat.
more everything.
I know what they can't expect. A load album or a reload album or a Saint Anger album from Turbocharged.
We're coming for you.
That we didn't give a damn.
Good parties, good gigs.
The live feeling
Didn't do a load or reload album.
of being ran over by a bulldozer.
Hopefully we gave an impression that will last.
Our attitude towards things.
So we're not just another band they met along the way.
Not much too crazy,
The craziest thing is that we're actually going on tour.
but some really fun stuff.
I could tell you, but then I had to kill you.
We never expect things to go our way, but then we found the right people that believed in us.
Shooting guns at the stage.
We got to go on tour for, I think, 5 years, at least once a year.
Probably one of the highlights anyway, so that was a good one. Our first show outside of Sweden was in Elterlein in Germany, and a small festival, a really great festival, where we played with a Czech band called Törr. The live show was one of the best shows I've ever seen. So to play a Törr show, it kind of sums up what we have done so far and where it all began for Turbocharged.
And I got a chance to butcher the Czech language. I was like a parrot. When we recorded this, I was listening on my phone and through the microphone with reverb and everything, and tried to remember the noises, the sounds. I was like, hurry, press the record. I think I can nail it now. We did that verse by verse, chorus by chorus. To all the people from the Czech Republic, sorry.
Nothing really. I don't think so.
Probably a bit at least. In Sweden it has been a big thing at school for quite a long time, and it's easy to start playing instruments.
I'm not sure it contributes much like that.
Everyone can play something at some point. Lessons are really cheap. It's easy to start.
But I think it might make the kid that picks up a Motorhead album will also pick up an instrument.
The main reason for the underground is the culture.
And realize that, wow, they're not gods, they're just people. I can do this as well.
There have always been a lot of bands which they make younger, the kids are being friends with older guys and start their own bands, and every metalhead having a band.
And also, if it's a musical school, you might find other people, like another guitarist, maybe a drummer. Maybe the guitarist has a younger brother that you're forced to play the bass.
I know like 3 metalheads who don't play in a band. So
I don't remember reviews like that, but we do get comments from all over the world.
Must have been Nepal, I think.
I guess like South America maybe.
Australia, I guess. It's basically on the other side of the globe.
I don't have it. I can't say who made it either.
It's pretty amazing that people have heard us there.
The best review for me, personally, that sums up all the years I've been doing this, not just the Turbocharged years, is that in Ecuador, there's a kid named after me.
Next track is it's a psychobilly song from a British band called The Meteors. I always wanted to play King Vlad for some reason. It's got a nice catchy tune to it. We're not a psychobilly band, so of course we adapt it to our own style, which is D-beat. Everything turns out punk, so why not? I think we spiced it up.
You just said everything I wanted to say.
Sorry.
Meteors are just great, so this song or Fuck Like a Beast, Fight Like an Animal would have been equally good, so we just had to pick one of them.
And since we don't use swear words, we chose this one.
I am in the mountains of Old Albania 600 years ago.
it's more reality than financial, that's for sure.
The financial reality of being in an underground band is that there are no financials.
Playing this kind of music, the genre is too narrow to be something someone would invest their money in, because everyone needs to make a living.
Well, I have a job,
You have to have a job.
and if you have a hard time making a living of the music, maybe you should get another job.
Come on. No one becomes Mötley Crüe or Scorpions these days.
If no one likes it, no one will buy it, and maybe you should get a job.
Everyone stays like us, a small band.
If we ever get any money for anything, then it's going back into the band again.
Even if you're a big band, you're a small band.
Get a job!
Prepare to have a job and be prepared to have to pay your own flight tickets. If you get to go on tour for 2 weeks and it costs like 300 euros to fly there and everything else is paid, show me the vacation spot where you can get that deal. It's like a theme park for drunken idiots who likes loud music. So yeah, of course you pay. Probably could, but it shouldn't, because underground means closed society.
I think it just shouldn't reach everybody, because underground music should stay underground, and it's our baby.
We don't want to tear down the barbed wire that you have to crawl through by finding the information yourself. You shouldn't be handed the underground on a silver plate.
Yeah, it could, but why would that be the main thing?
If you put it on a silver plate, it's gonna bring in a lot of people that are only in it for a while, and then they find something else.
If reaching a huge audience is the main thing, maybe you should not play underground music.
If you were into metal when you were younger, you never were. Either you are or you're not.
Next track is it's kind of a mashup of the different tributes or whatever. It's a fucking killer song from a killer band called At War. Diane Thorne, who played Ilsa, died this year. It's a tribute.
Just a great song. It's very cool to play it as well. We heard it every trip we made. Somewhere on the road we listened to the song. So
It's a cult band At War, and Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS is a fucking great cult movie too, so why not?
Losing I'm a common down. Use the science of what you want. Cut them and slice them for Hitler's God. Not trying to find all the rage of blood.
Well, there wasn't much of a plan more than let's do this. The first shoot was at the 14th of June, and the last video out of 17 videos were edited on the 10th of August. So we made it just under 2 months with 4 days to spare. You don't get to plan much in that time with that amount of videos. I guess you can say that my only plan was to keep the wireless for the sound charged and ready to go, the lights, keep the gear ready from time to time, clean out the memory card, import everything to the computer. I had to edit every video before the next one was shot, so we shot videos on Sundays and Wednesdays, just like we released them, because that's our rehearsal days, has been for years. There was planning to be done, but we kind of just did everything. The focus was activity. That's why we managed to do this in such a short time.
Keeping the car together to get to rehearsals.
The hardest part was the limitations and still trying to make it look like it's not the same video 17 times. The time was limited, the space was limited, the locations, what's that? We had to try and make the most of nothing. I'd say the difficult part was to make the visuals different from video to video, but I think we did pretty good.
The next song brings back some memories from a backstage somewhere. Really drunk, all of us. And I stated that this singer sings cooler than Rob Halford, and I almost got beaten up for it. Thor, self-criticism is not an issue in that case, I guess. But he made some really fucking timeless songs. When they asked us at Metal Magic, we thought, we have to play it there.
Personally, since I was never into sports or anything in this little shithole, all the metalheads were just trying to meet up, no matter the ages or whatever. In the weekends we were drinking together, listening to stuff, and yeah, we're drinking a lot. And Anger was one of the songs always played at the parties before we went to the bar.
And we do have the physique.
Locked up in his cage, I feel my temper swell. Fire burns my veins. Oh, anger, anger is my middle name. Oh, anger, anger is my middle name. Cyclones of rage that ripple in my chest for rising revenge. That's my major quest. Oh, anger, anger is my middle name. Oh, anger, anger is my middle name. Yeah.
Well, the heart of everything is a Canon EOS 70D with a bunch of lenses. I have everything from vintage lenses from Russia, 40 years old, to some cheaper, more modern lenses. And I have the Rode Wireless Go, a wireless system for the audio that we connected to the studio to get the studio sound right into the camera. It's easier to sync it in post-production. And I have a Weebill Lab gimbal stabilizer. And I have various tripods and whatnot. Too much gear to mention everything piece by piece. I think we could have done the same thing with just a GoPro camera or a mobile phone if we were just making an effort. Maybe not, but it sounded good. Well, I expect it to not look like ass. Of course I have expectations behind the camera, but I'm not skillful enough to know exactly how to control it. It's all spontaneous. And when you look in the viewfinder, you have to try to capture the best angles, the best moments. You try to pre-edit the shots in your head while looking into the viewfinder, so you know what you have to work with when you get home, and import it into the computer to edit the final results. You have to be prepared to change your plans along the way, because sometimes the best shots are the ones that you didn't plan, and sometimes the shots that you planned suck ass big time. I expect it to be good enough for us, for our friends.
Next one is a Czech song again, more in our vein. It's actually been my ringtone on my phone for like 2 years by now. So it was quite obvious that we have to play it. Their vocalist contacted us, so one day we might play this with them on stage somewhere, which is fucking cool.
And I had to make a falsetto scream also. That was fun.
Malignant Humor is a great band. We're the Metal is a great song, and the title says a lot. Why not do it? Because we're the metal.
And the punk.
Before we carry our own gear, scream every before we
first album was actually supposed to be our demos released on vinyl. We asked the guy at Hellrocker Records who released it if he wanted to release the first album instead on just a vinyl batch, 300 copies. And he said, I don't care, I want to release something. And we said, okay, give us some time and we will record the first album.
It was a huge thing to record the first album. It's like we were reaching our goal, but it just kept moving the goal further. But at the time, it was like the biggest thing ever.
A bit more trashy than the other ones.
And we sent it to him, and the rest is our first album.
You can really hear that it's turbocharged in its cradle.
Just before it was released, we got the CD release signed as well by Chaos Records from Mexico.
Kind of forgetting about that one.
What call it? Concept album.
This is a mini CD,
4 songs.
5 tracks and some intros and stuff.
5 maybe.
It was supposed to be a split CD with Mexican band Shit.
I think we recorded it like 4 times.
We recorded it 3 times because first time I was drinking beer, adjusting the recording levels and everything. Fucked it up big time.
We tuned down at that time.
The snare was compressed so you could hear the whole drum kit and the snare drum. It wasn't mixable.
I think it's great.
And that was a really weird conversation when I had to take a deep breath and tell the other guys, look, I made something foolish.
I guess that is the importance of that EP.
We were booked for the first time to play at Metal Magic in Denmark. We did everything to try and release it, to bring it to the festival. It would be a good introduction for the band. Shit happened. The package with the CDs arrived 2 weeks after we played the festival, so all of a sudden we had a mini CD that kind of fell into oblivion, even for us.
Or some kind of monster moment, I think, as a band.
Oh, that's a bad experience.
Disagreements.
We really didn't like each other during that recording.
It turned out to be a good album in the end, but the road there was really bumpy.
We wrote like 20 songs for the album and demoed all.
And everyone wanted their track list to be on the album.
If you think of 3 guys pulling in 2 directions each.
We couldn't decide what songs to put on the album.
Not good.
It would be really weird, I guess that's what's happened.
3 different track lists.
At the end, we were not really very good friends.
We took a paper, we wrote all the titles. Then each of us took this paper home without talking to each other, without making pacts or whatever. We chose the songs that we wanted for the album. On the count of 3, we put them on the table. No one could change or anything. And then we had 3 stages. The ones that all 3 picked was going on the album. If 2 picked one song and a third didn't, then the third had to suck it up. 2 out of 3 chose this song. If there weren't enough, we had to talk to each other and pick the last ones. The funny thing is that we couldn't agree on the last level of song, so we actually put Worshipper on there, which none of us chose in the first place.
Well, it didn't split the band up at least.
After it was done, it was a really good album, I think.
We had to do a few more albums in a better mood.
But it was painstaking labor.
That's a good memory.
Militant was much easier.
That's a good album with kind of a weird production.
I had trouble with the guitar sound. I recorded the album with a different guitar than I used to do.
I think we learned something from the Area 666 disaster.
We made only the songs for the album and then we recorded them.
So I ended up one night going down to the studio and re-record the entire album with the usual guitar.
More efficient and less drama.
A long night recording guitars.
We got Tony Dolan from Venom Inc., Atomkraft, to speak the intro, which is the highlight.
We came together for that one, and I think we really did a good job.
It turned out good, I think.
That was a split between bands on our former label.
This is not really our release, we're just part of it.
It was really amazing to make a split 7-inch.
With Go Fuck Yourself Productions bands, our label mates at the time.
Go Fuck Yourself Productions.
With such cool bands and friends.
It's a really cool collection of bands.
Their 13th release.
And I think we played live with all of them.
Us, Violentor, Evoked and Obscuria.
It's one big family with a lot of brutality in it.
Our contribution is really one of my favorite songs.
It was an honor to share the wax with those bands.
It's really cool.
Also a split
with Ragehammer from Poland. I met their vocalist like many years ago. We met at Death Feast 2010, maybe. Many years later, they contacted us. Hey, we have this split EP and the other band has wimped out, so could you take the place? And we said, sure. So we wrote the song Bloodletting, which is a fast one. It's really a good song, actually. It has everything we're all about. And we recorded it, and it turned out to sound really good as well. Good production.
Ah, that's my favorite song.
Since Ragehammer is a good band, we had to match them, and we did.
One of the best sounding songs we ever recorded, and it's for a split 7-inch.
We also made a video for the song to promote the EP.
I really love it.
Really cool release.
I actually think that's one of my favorite videos of us, still.
Branded and Arrogant is like a compilation.
This one has a kind of a funny story to it, to show you how things can turn out. I remember it was a Thursday in 2016 sometime. We asked our label if we could release something this year, and he told us like, no, sorry, there are bands in line before you, so I have to take things in the right order. The day after, on a Friday, I got an email from a guy I didn't talk to for like 7 years. Hey, me and a friend started a label. We're gonna release only vinyls. Could I please get the permission to release your demos?
Branded Forever and Arrogantus Metallus.
Since they are the 2 demos we made before Anti-Christian, it was like we were searching for the right sound.
It's really cool to have on vinyl.
1 foot in the old Turbocharged and 1 foot in the new.
Unreleased stuff.
And also some outtakes on songs, like bonus tracks.
Then Anti-Christian was like the transition to finding our sound on Area 666.
Even some rejected song from the Area 666 session.
The demos are like where we came from.
You should go to the Diabolic Might website and order it and check out their other releases as well, because it's a pure underground label. They deserve your support.
Released in black and yellow vinyl.
So we did release a full-length album that year as well. Apocalyptic is a cool album because it's really dirty and it has that live feel to it.
Also released on Go Fuck Yourself Productions on CD and vinyl.
The songs are pretty cool as well.
Maybe the sound is not really as spot on as after.
It's a document in time, and we sounded like that at the time.
It looks really good and it is really good.
Apocalyptic was a step forward at the same time that it was a big step forward, so we didn't nail the production really.
The first time we used some other guy to do the artwork.
The cover is white and the vinyl is white because when I was doing the artwork I accidentally pushed the wrong buttons and made everything black turn white. Ooh, what the fuck happened? Undo, undo, undo. But then I thought, hey, that looked pretty cool. I inverted the colors again and I sent it to the other guys and I said, look, should we break all traditional rules? That's cool. It looks fucking great.
Released the CD through Go Fuck Yourself Productions.
Best album so far.
And hoping for a vinyl release on that.
It's got more death metal vibe to it, I guess, than the previous ones.
The latest one, of course, it's my favorite.
It's a natural progress.
The drums and bass was recorded at Decibel Hell Studios by Johan Sundström.
And then we recorded everything basically at this rig.
At Ronnie's home.
I think the sound is really good.
The production is really good without missing out on the dirty stuff because we played dirty, so we don't have to record it dirty. We keep the live feeling, I hope.
Songs are really good. Actually, I think I wrote like one song for that one, so maybe that's why it's the best album.
It's quite massive.
I think it's our best album.
I had to turn down the distortion on the bass guitar. That sucked, but it sounds good. I'm fine with that, but don't expect the distortion to be turned down for long.
Racing car.
Back in school, I remember I was having chemistry class and my friend just knocked on me and was like, hey, look here. And he had the Mighty Contract under the table. It was like really the coolest cover I've ever seen. It was like mysterious and evil and everything. It's like, oh, can I borrow it? Oh no, it's another one that's going to borrow it first, but you can have it later. So I had it later and it was fucking great. Same year, I remember making a video of one of the songs at music class. So no, it really had an impact and still one of the songs and the album is still with me ever since.
I was in Brasov, I think, Romania, a couple of years back. Finally got to see Rotten Christ live. I spent most of this song filming it to send to Nick because I had to rub it in his face. I've seen it. So it was quite a challenge. It's not a long track, but it's someone has to work for a living in that song or dying. Almost 30 years later, we got to play it. I think we did good.
Yeah!
Yeah, it's 2 rooms, 17 videos.
17 videos, 2 rooms.
Yeah, this is really a massive project we had going.
Yeah, that's a challenge right there.
Big effort.
To shoot so many videos in the same room and still keep it interesting and not repeating yourself.
Maybe not for me.
When we came to Under the Sign of the D-Beat Mark, we need something really small to make it look really punk, really primitive.
But for Ronnie, who were editing everything, and
We searched the basement where we rehearse. We went into the section where Decibel Hell Studios, where we recorded the Above Lords Below Earth album. And we found this small storage room that he uses to record vocals and amplifiers. Hey, can we borrow this for 2 hours? I said, yeah, sure. So we cramped everything in there together. And that's room number 2. So we stashed everything in there with the camera and everything, and we shot some angles. It was so cramped, so when I was playing the bass and Freddie was hitting the cymbal, it smashed my hand. I almost shit my pants every time. That was to capture the punk feeling of that song.
me and Freddie just came there, did our stuff for a couple of hours, and then Roddy made videos out of it. So,
Or else it was just 1 room, so yeah.
I hope it's fun for you guys to
2 rooms, 17 videos. It was quite a challenge.
So next song, Blackfire by the Japanese band Sabbath. Etchi. We just needed to do this cover because first tour we did with Etrurian Legion in 14.
Yeah.
We listened to this song all the time in the van for many miles.
bit of a soundtrack to that tour. Blackfire, Bombarder, Infest. Serbian Infest.
Another trivia from this asshole town. Sabbath actually played here.
Yes.
It was the first gig ever in North Europe, I think. We had the Headbangers Against Disco party in '97, which made the headlines in the local news as a filth orgy. The day after, they had to leave because they had to be somewhere else. They came by train from Germany, I think. They left early in the morning, and in the afternoon, when we got back to life, we started asking around who paid them. No one did. So they came here paying for it themselves, and they played a really small gig without a stage. I think they liked it anyway.
Great party, aren't you?
Yeah. It was good. Good times. Blackfire.
yeah, we keep going and doing our thing.
To write the new songs for next album.
Recorded the new album,
Play at Metal Magic next year.
the layouts and everything.
Hopefully go touring again after the COVID-19.
What we always did and what we always will do.
We'll see what happens.
New label.
Hopefully, we have tours coming up, festival gigs, new merch.
It's gonna make a difference with all the promotion and the backup from a bigger label.
Hopefully,
I'm looking for a bright future for Turbocharged.
the future is not carved in stone, but we're not going away.
Last song is a double feature, both Venom. You could talk for hours about the importance of Venom. I don't, so it's like it's Venom.
Venom was the band that made me start playing in the first place. Buried Alive is kind of off the radar for us, style-wise, but we decided to take it down a few notches at the end of the gig, intended gig, Metal Magic gig, and blast off with a new version of Witching Hour that we recorded a version a couple of years back, and
10 years ago.
Yeah, okay, 10 years ago. We're not getting younger, are we? So we decided to try to shoot that one out of the water. I think we played it even faster this time.
So it's the perfect ending for a set list, I think. When we do stuff, we often ask ourselves, so what would Venom do? We write or record, or it's always been with us, I think.
And Venom is the reason why we don't have rhythm guitars during the solos, because they didn't, we don't. Legacy. At the same time as this full feature movie comes out, it's gonna be official. There's a lot of people that has asked, are you gonna play this set list live at some point? And we didn't answer because it was going to be a surprise, but now the cat will be out of the bag. We will play this set list at Metal Magic next year, 2021. You should be there, you motherfucking...
This is not in any way the end. It's a tribute to the first 20 years. It's a start for the next 20 years.
I will be 77 by then.
No, you won't, and we will be
I'm alive but dead, awake but asleep, as friends gather round and moments they weep. My mind thinks of all the things I have done. My body's cold, but my heartbeat goes on and on and on. As they lower me down into that hole in the ground, I scream out for help, but they hear not a sound. I tear at the lid, my fingers they bleed. Is this happening to me, or is it just a dream? Summon the dead. the blood and fast and free. I see the thing is right and blessed and blessedly. However is your death, the child that she will bear. And sing this whole town will be the work to spare. Hell breaks loose. Hell breaking loose. Witching
How has your gig was?
How has your gig was?